Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Kudo Camera Company live stream. Today we are doing a mystery unboxing. So before I get into that, my name is Ben Kudo. I am the owner of Kudo Camera Company. We sell on eBay, on Amazon. We have Facebook and Instagram as well as YouTube. So for YouTube, please subscribe. And on eBay, you can find a ton of classic lenses as well as lens adapters. And on Amazon, you can find lens adapters. We're always growing our store, so please check back frequently for new products. So what we're going to do today is a fun thing. It's a mystery unboxing. This is one of my estate sale auction winning items that I won from an online estate sale auction. So I'll go and win a ton of camera gear. I basically am looking for camera gear 24/7. I win it on online auctions, and I have it shipped into the camera company here. And I go through, I open it up, I take a look at it. If I'm lucky, everything's in mint condition. But sometimes there's some issues with the lenses, and that's kind of the fun and the mystery of the whole thing. So let's take a look and see what we have here today in the box. So with any luck, these are going to be very well packaged. Sometimes when I get them, they don't have any packaging at all. This box seems pretty heavy. Let's take a look at what we have. Okay. Paper, that's to be expected. Got something here. Oh no, it feels like a flash. Another flash. I could start a flash museum. I have so many flashes. But that's okay. And what's this? Camera. Okay, we'll stick that aside. And the camera. If you're ever looking for a flash, send me a line. You can visit my website, www.kudocameracompany.com, and drop me a line there. You can email me, kudocameracompany@gmail.com, and tell me you need a flash, and I will send you all of them. So I guess maybe that could be the rule. If you want a flash, you have to take them all. It seems like flash photography is not quite as popular as like with these vintage flashes anyways. The big thing with a vintage flash compared to a modern day flash is that they don't rotate in multiple directions. They tend to go up and down, but they don't rotate side to side. So a flash, one thing I always do is I just make sure the batteries are out. See, no batteries. That's a good thing. So no corrosion in there. And then I stick it aside. This one's got a little bit more damage than I'm even used to, but that's okay. I mean, I can still donate it. You never know. This is really totally wasteful. There's a packing tip. You don't need to use how many plastic bags here to pack. So for anyone who's considering selling on eBay or don't do this. This is really bad for the environment and just completely unnecessary. What a waste. Okay, moving on. Let's take a look at the first item here. Let's see. What is it? What is it? This is like Christmas morning. That's one of the best things about what I do is when you open these things up, a lot of times I know, I can go through and check the tracking number and know what's in there, but for these mystery ones, I just kind of like to pull a box and see what I can find. Wow, look at this. More plastic bags. Wow. This is certainly no way to pack. So how's everyone doing out there? Hopefully you've been finding some cool camera gear. I don't know. Let's take a look what I have here. This is pretty neat. Well, I'll take a look under the macro to kind of show you what we have going on here. Switch over, and I will clear out these lenses. This is a real mystery reveal here. So we have the Fujica 901. So I have a lot of 701s, 801s, but I like this one here, a 705 Fujica. This is the 901, which is an upgraded model. This one has exposure compensation. I don't think the other ones have that. It's got shutter speed up to 1,000th of a second. Some of the other ones go up a little bit higher, so that's not very special. But being an upgraded model, the 901, I wonder, what else is really great about this? Well, this one has sort of the double mystery going on here too. There's sort of the reveal here. Actually, before I get started, I always, usually just to make sure I can keep my hands clean, I'll throw on these blue nitrile powder-free gloves. These are great when you're going through camera stuff. Keep your hands clean. And anytime I'm dealing with lenses, I tend to put them on just to make sure I don't put any extra fingerprints on them. So let's get this and see what we have for a lens here. Big reveal here. Ooh, the EBC Fujinon. The EBC is the coating. It's an 11-layer coating, and it cuts down on flare and on it lets a lot of light in. So for the Fujica, it's got a little release here. You can push that to help release it. Now it's an M42 thread mount. The back of the lens definitely has a big fat thumbprint on it, so we'll see about getting that off. And otherwise, this just looks like a really nice lens. So in terms of testing a lens like this that I get in, I want to check it and make sure it's haze free. So one of the ways I do that, I use a flashlight. Is this haze free? Oh, it looks like it's definitely dirty. So let me give it a quick cleaning here. So the best way to clean these, you start out with air. Use the air first. If there's any debris left, you can brush it. This one doesn't really look like there's much debris at all, so I'm not going to need to brush it. I'm just going to go straight into putting a little breath on there. Some breathing on it so I can use my trusty old lens tissues. This is the brand that I always get, Uvex by Honeywell. It's pretty cool because it comes in a bulk pack, so it's great to keep in your camera shop. When you get back from a shoot, you've got that if you want to go ahead and clean up all your lenses. It's always best to put things away clean. Front. All right, so this looks super clean. I definitely got lucky on this one. It's a beautiful EBC electric. Oh, what does it stand for? I will get back to you on that. I should do a review just on the EBCs, but they're basically one of the most advanced coatings that Fujinon made. They were later in the line. Anyone who knows about the Fujinon lenses, they're famous for their bubble bokeh, but they are also very, very sharp. They have beautiful color and contrast, and they're just an all-around outstanding lens. Some of them have issues where the focus isn't that smooth. That is not an issue on this particular lens at all. This focus is butter smooth. The lens itself, the body is in excellent condition. Take a look again at the haze is next to no haze inside here. It's kind of hard to see on the video, but it's actually very, very clean. It looks like there's just a little bit of cleaning that I need to do around the edge to really get that to be perfect, but I will go ahead and do that boring work after. And then last but not least, we'll check the aperture. So the aperture on the M42, you've got this pin to depress here and see if that's going to work. It's pretty snappy. For me, this aperture is probably like a 9.5 out of 10. It could be maybe barely a bit more snappy, but otherwise it's not going to create any issues. One thing with these Fujinon lenses are they have this metal tab here. So this metal tab will keep it from sitting flush when you put it on a lens adapter. So there's a couple of ways to work that. Basically here, if you look, I put it on this M42 to NEX lens adapter. We sell these in the store. What happens is when you tighten it, sometimes it bumps and it won't allow you to spin it. This one actually is not in the way at all. So I don't know if, I know a lot of M42 adapters will bump. This newer model from K&F, I don't know if it was specifically designed. I'll reach out to them and ask them, but if it was, I know it has this ridge here, and that ridge is actually keeping that tab from bumping, which is so helpful because so many of these Fujinon lenses I've modified over the years to take that bump out so that it doesn't interfere. But in this case, it does not interfere at all. So when you have the adapter on, it depresses the ring and it lets it close down. So that's a good thing. So, all right, so that's a major score. This is a very desirable version of this lens. It's just super nice. The coating is really one of the great things about them. The Fujinon lenses were never really known for their flares or anything like that. It was really all about the bubble bokeh. This one, I've used this model quite a bit, and for me, it is a bubble bokeh, but it also has a really nice, I kind of call it like a painterly bokeh. It's very, very nice. So I'm very pleased with this. So let's take a look at what else we have in the box. This is awesome. That's a really good start to the mystery unboxing here. I'm very disappointed in this packaging. I don't use plastic bags for much, so that's just unfortunate. It's better than packing peanuts in some ways, but at the same time, it's really, I don't know, from an environmental standpoint, I'm not sure what's worse, but I mean, you can see here, I've got a ton of bags now. I've got probably, I don't know, 30 bags here and 30 bags here. So between the two of them, just a waste. All right, put these aside and see what else we have here in the mystery box. M42 lenses are very versatile. They adapt to most camera systems out there. For Nikon, if you want to use M42, you actually need a M42 to Nikon adapter that contains glass. So not quite as good as most of the other ones. Like for instance, with Canon EOS, you don't need a glass element. Corrective glass element. You can just adapt straight to EOS, which is really cool. I started out with Canon. Got some in the background. You probably can't even see them, but so here again, we've got the same issue as before. We have shopping bags. As far as protecting the items, I don't know. This wasn't great, but whoa, what is this? Okay. Wow. Original lens cap and everything. This is well, let's put it underneath the macro, let you see what it is. Wow, this is a really cool camera and even cooler lens. Switch over to macro. So here we have the Hanimex Praktica Super TL. It's super cool looking camera. Some of the things that make this camera unique are, I don't know what this button does. This awesome black paint in addition to the chrome. You see so many cameras that are all chrome and some that are all black, but you don't see a lot that are chrome and black. I like Hanimex too because they're a little bit of a lesser known brand. And Hanimex cameras came with a lot of cool lenses on them, and Hanimex Praktica. I'm not quite sure on the relationship between Hanimex and Praktica, but I've gotten a lot of Praktica cameras that had Hanimex lenses, and now this particular body is a Hanimex Praktica. So just looking at the top, looks like it's got some different settings for color, or I'm not sure what that is. This is going to be a fun one to research. The shutter speeds only go from 1/500th up to bulb with a 1 second as the longest timed shutter. Here it looks like we have our film frame counter. It looks like it goes around. Does that mean that there's film in here? Sure feels like it. And then we have the ASA dial down here. This is a very cool camera. So let me see if I can. It doesn't feel like there's film in here after all. So let's see how to get into this camera. It says here made in East Germany. This most likely is for a power winder. It could be for a battery. We'll check that. And let's see. To get in, we've got this here. Okay, no. Really cool looking inside film back. It's a cloth shutter. I don't know what that self timer is making a bit of a noise. These this type of camera I generally don't sell. I tend to keep them on my shelf because I try to do more of the high volume stuff for like the super high dollar value bodies. So the number one camera body that I like to sell is the Canon AE1 Program and the A1. Those are my two favorites. Ones like this are a little bit harder because they're harder to figure out how to test, harder to go through. But this would be just such a cool one to keep up on the camera shelf. So it's probably going to get us a nice spot, right back here. But now, my favorite thing about cameras, the lens. So this lens has zebra stripe pattern. It's got black paint, which is a really high gloss paint. The lettering is all in beautiful condition. And it comes with the original lens cap. And let's see what lens it is. Ta-da! Ariston Meyer Optics Gorlitz. This is actually the first Meyer Optics lens that I've ever purchased. It's the first one that I'll ever use, so I don't know a ton about this lens. Definitely going to find out. What I'll do is I'm going to adapt it to my Sony a7 II and just take it for a whirl and see how it works. Now, I assumed that this was M42 mount. Let's see. It's a little bit dusty here. Before I open it up, I'm just going to give it a quick blow off to the side here. Have to sweep that up later. That's all part of the fun. Cleaning the shop is a great pastime. So this one has this button here. Button feels a little bit plasticky, so I can't really tell because I have these gloves on. It's kind of one of the downsides of wearing the gloves. You can't always tell little things like that, but I'll give it a proper inspection after. See, again, there's a big thumbprint on the back. What a cool looking camera though. I mean, just before I put it off to the side, just take one more look at this. That's just really cool looking. Really awesome. I'll put that off to the side. So in general, we have some positive things going on here and some negative things. The positive things are, in general, the body looks excellent. The lettering is very clean. There was definitely some pollen on it. So this one, I have Pancolar from Zeiss. That's more of a pancake. It kind of stops here. This one's a lot beefier than that, but nonetheless, really awesome looking lens. I can't wait to look at some sample photos and then take it out for myself and see how it looks. I think for me, the biggest difference between the vintage lenses and the modern day lenses are the background blur or the bokeh. I know, I'm still all about getting a nice composition, getting the moment right, with nailing the focus on the eyes. I do a lot of portraits of my family, and I'm all about those factors. But then I like a beautiful background, not that's distracting, but that is complementary, or just kind of, the background blur is very artistic in its own way, and it's about composing where the background is non-distracting. So there's a little bit of a coating imperfection there. I'll just kind of clean that real quick and see if it goes away along with the fingerprint. Seems like it's probably just going to need a little Zippo fluid on that one spot. So I'll do the whole thing, but no, it's pretty much gone, that little coating imperfection. So I think I really nailed it on these two. One thing about camera equipment, when you buy it online on an estate auction, for me, if I get them even 50% in good shape, I can fix the other 50%, and then that's a great way for me to make some profit and continue growing the business. But you never know what condition they're going to come in. It helps to be able to fix a lens if it does come in rough condition. This one luckily seems to work perfectly. I am going to definitely take this one out for a spin before I sell it. A lot of times what happens with my camera collection, excuse me, it's allergy season. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll use a lens for a little while, because part of having a camera company is that if you really love photography, you don't want to just own all these things that might be kind of a once in a lifetime ownership and not have a chance to use it. So if I've owned a lens like this one, the Canon FD, I'll always have some of these to test, so I might not necessarily keep that one in the bag. But this one, I may never have this lens again, so I definitely want to take some nice pictures of it, some pictures using it. I share them on Facebook. My favorite group to share my photos is Photography with Classic Lenses. There are about 11,000 members there. Everybody uses vintage lenses. It looks like one of my cameras went out. That's okay. I'm wrapping things up here anyways. But yeah, so you'll see, if you want to check that out, you can find me there, and we'll share some photos. Check this out. So, well, thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions about this particular lens, may post a question in the comments. I'm sure there'll be other people who come across this who are going to know a little bit about this, and I'm certainly going to learn a lot about it myself. So I look forward to sharing some photos, and yeah, so thanks for checking out the channel. If you have any questions or requests for future videos, please reach out. But otherwise, I'll be seeing you soon. So don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.